So before we begin, we would like to quickly acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land that we're meeting on, the Ngunnawal people. We wish to acknowledge and respect the continuing culture and contribution they make to the life of the region and to this field. We'd also like to thank our hosts and the speakers of the past 3 days for the insightful talks, and we're excited to talk to you today. Hello, and thank you for having us. I'm Maddie, this is Dana and Anastasia, and we represent the University of Canberra. So today we'll be addressing the first challenge, in which we create an intervention to prompt engagement and progression through the Sustainable Wine Australia system. We've chosen to deal with this problem by creating a more competitive market for sustainable wine and then encouraging continued certification by making the process easier for vineyards and for winemakers. So we've identified two major problems in the system at the moment, a lack of visibility and marketing of sustainable wine and the tedious challenges faced by members during the data entry process. So the first problem is that the lack of visibility in sustainable wines reduces potential profits that these firms could be making. Studies have shown that some demographics are interested in paying more for sustainable wines, which would have been a really good incentive to push. By targeting this audience, we may be able to increase profits for sustainable vineyards and wine producers, thus making it beneficial for firms to sign up. The second major issue that we identified is the difficulty of data input in the certification process. The current system allows for human error through, for example, the misplacement of vital receipts and work fatigue due to the perceived quantity of work needed. We hope to be able to pique the interest of non-certified wine growers by creating a sustainability market interest and then streamline the process of application.
Thanks, Nads. So our first intervention strategy is to target the consumers, support the suppliers. We suggest utilising the already existing sustainable wine sticker that wine sellers who are certified by SWA have on the back of their wine bottles, but making that more visible and in a green text with a little tick of approval. We're utilising this green colour because people already have the assumption that green means sustainable. We're utilising this so people have more of a sway towards this sustainable wine when they're forced with choice overload when they're picking their wine at the bottle. After all, people are more likely to choose a product or an icon that they have somewhat familiarity with. This strategy plays on a number of behavioural economic theories. I've just mentioned choice overload, but the main theory that we incorporate is based on mental accounts and heuristics. Studies have shown that when people are faced with two options, a wine that's less sustainable but cheaper and one that's more sustainable but just a little bit more expensive, people, especially under the age of 50, will opt for the more expensive one. This is because in the age of climate change, people place more value on sustainability rather than the utility of the cost of the wine. By playing on these heuristics and jumping on the general movement of sustainability, this intervention is one we predict will work over the long term as consumers tend to buy more sustainable wines. People that aren't in the SWA certification, they will start to feel market pressures and eventually have to join themselves. We intend for this strategy to work in conjunction with the solution number 2, where we hope to ease the pressures of the administration process by being a certified member.
So our second intervention is to create an application that will allow users to document the data as they go in a convenient form. This application would allow them to store receipts dealing with like their fertilizer, pesticide, diesel use, as well as give notifications when quarterly bills are released and store the data for them for later. By adding the data as they go, they receive less fatigue and time strain when the due date occurs. The app would also include optical character recognition, which would allow users to simply scan their receipts and receive all the important data, freeing up important time. So, for example, I've just gotten my water bill and I got a notification. Fantastic. Well, I'm just going to click into it and here we are. Well, there's my water consumption that I've just entered and I can edit it if I want to, or I can just click through. Now, I'm also, while I'm here, might as well scan my fuel receipts, put it all in the system while I remember. Here, I can edit it if I want, but it's all there in an easy, convenient, quick manner. So I can, So continuing on, the app has a chat box connected with the helpful SWA team in case of any assistance is needed. There will also be a necessary privacy policy, which will be put in place to ensure data sharing is not done without the explicit and informed consent of the user. It also follows some nudge theories, such as positive framing, simplification, and friction reduction.
The app we're proposing addresses the key concern of the overwhelming amount of paperwork members do by splitting it into a few minutes a day. Instead of struggling to find all those receipts from the last 12 months, spending hours inputting this data, the task can be done as you go. And it'll store those receipts for you. It'll also provide those handy reminders so you won't forget to do those tasks. Streamlining the friction of the membership process will nudge more businesses to go through the certification process, as it's more achievable now more than ever. Reporting as you go will directly translate into more accurate results that would have previously been skewed by human error. Accurate reporting will allow businesses to make more informed decisions to achieve their desired level of sustainability and their business goals. Positive time framing, removal of friction, and the simplification of a perceived arduous task will make certification more accessible to busy, hard-working owners. By making certification approachable, businesses will be able to engage with a market that was not attainable to them before, such as wine producers and retailers that require the certification, such as Qantas Online. It'll now be accessible for these people. We do predict some points of contention during the implementation process. It was discussed yesterday in the Q&A. It's unlikely to adopt a new technology that will meet everyone's needs. But some people just won't download the app, no matter how useful it is for them and their business. This may be from technological uncertainty, work fatigue, among other factors. Hesitation towards new technology is to be expected, but given time, more people will adapt to this new form of normal and download the app. In regards to increasing the prominence of the sustainability sticker, it won't sway every consumer. Sustainability is not a priority for some people, and for others, it's not a feasible financial option. When selecting new wine, this will play a larger part, but for returning customers, taste cannot be swayed.
Ultimately, meeting our goal of increasing certified members into SWA is supporting the increase of the push for sustainability globally and nationally, especially since Australia has agreed to net zero by 2035. Our aim with these interventions isn't to reinvent the wheel, but to utilise all strategies that a lot of industries already use through nudge techniques and automation. By implementing a notably minor nudge, such as using the existing sticker and putting it in a more visible location and using the colour scheme, we're increasing the outreach and visibility of SWA through our customers, therefore increasing the legitimacy of the program through the eyes of the customer. We also know that consumers may not always be rational, but we do know that they're easily influenced by cognitive bias, emotions, and social influences. As the ball gets rolling on the sticker front and more businesses start to sign up for SWA, our automation process will simplify the burden of administration and hopefully lead to the retention of certified members, eventually putting Australia and its wine industry at the forefront of net zero emissions. Thank you.